Okay, so get this. Some animals,
Mm.
right, they actually have like more than one heart.
More than one heart.
More than one heart. Crazy,
No,
right?
sorry.
We had some pretty amazing articles sent in about this. Definitely had to take a deep dive into this one.
Mm.
We're talking octopuses, worms, even a crab. And get this, a fish that lives in ice.
Wow, that's a lot of variety. It really shows you how life on Earth has adapted, all these crazy environments.
Exactly. So let's start with something everyone knows, the octopus.
Okay.
They're like super smart. Everyone knows that. But did you know they've got 3 hearts?
3 hearts.
3 hearts.
Yeah, that's right. One main heart, the systemic heart, circulates blood through the body, and then they have 2 smaller hearts, branchial hearts, and those pump blood to the gills.
Okay, so why so many?
Well, octopus blood, right, it uses hemocyanin to carry oxygen.
Hemocyanin.
And unlike our hemoglobin, which uses iron, that's why our blood is red, hemocyanin, it contains copper.
Copper.
And it turns their blood blue.
Blue blood.
Yeah. Pretty well. But here's the thing, hemocyanin, it's not as efficient at carrying oxygen as hemoglobin.
Ah, so they need those extra hearts to...
Yeah, they need a boost.
Yeah.
Just to keep, everything running. Their brains are complex, active bodies. Got to keep up.
So it's like needing a couple extra pumps just to get the oxygen through their systems. That's fascinating. I was reading that squids and cuttlefish, they also have 3 hearts.
That's right. All 3 are cephalopods. It's a group of marine mollusks.
Okay.
So that 3-heart system, yeah, it's like a key thing, for them.
Okay. That makes sense. All right, let's move on to something maybe a little less cuddly.
Mm.
The hagfish. This thing apparently has 4 hearts.
The hagfish, yeah, kind of eel-like, lives on the ocean floor. Scavenger. Yeah, often eats, dead animals.
Oh. It's a, tough environment. You think about it, the pressure down there.
Intense.
Yeah, crushing.
So all those extra hearts, that's what helps them survive down there. Most likely, yeah. Probably helps with their blood pressure. Make sure everything is stable, even with all that pressure.
So it's like they have like a built-in pressure control system.
Yeah, you could say that.
Amazing. Okay, now for something completely different, the earthworm, apparently it has 5 hearts.
5 hearts, huh? Well, it depends what you consider a heart, right?
Oh, okay.
Earthworms have 5 pairs of aortic arches, and those act like hearts. They contract to, move blood through their body, long body, segmented.
Okay, so it's like more of a network of pumps, right?
Yeah, like a network.
Right.
And they got to make sure that blood reaches, every part of the body, even when they're, burrowing through the soil.
Okay, so I'm seeing a pattern here.
Mm.
Different creatures, different needs, different heart solutions. What about the horseshoe crab? That's got to have multiple hearts too, right?
A horseshoe crab, huh? They've got 1 main heart and then several smaller cardiac sinuses.
Cardiac sinus.
Cardiac sinuses. See, horseshoe crabs, they don't have blood like we do.
What do they have?
Hemolymph.
Hemolymph.
It's a fluid, carries nutrients and oxygen, but no red blood cells.
No red blood cells. Interesting. So do those sinuses, do they act like mini hearts?
You could say that, yeah. They help distribute the hemolymph around the body, kind of, support the main heart.
So not exactly multiple hearts, but definitely a team effort. Okay, so we've got cephalopods, deep sea dwellers, earthworm, and a prehistoric crab, all with these unique systems. What else is on our list of multi-hearted creatures?
Next up, we've got the cockroach. Might surprise you, but they only have 1 heart.
Wait, really? Only 1? I thought for sure, with how resilient they are, they'd have some backup hearts or something.
It's not quite that simple. Their heart, it's a multi-chambered tube, runs along its back.
A tube.
Yeah, like a tube, 13 chambers. Each one, it has a valve, prevents backflow.
So it's like 1 heart split into 13 compartments.
Yeah, you could say that. And this structure, it makes them, really tough. Like if one chamber gets damaged, the others can, compensate, keep the blood flowing.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. What about the leech? Those little bloodsuckers, they have a bunch of hearts, right?
They do, yeah. Leeches have several pairs of hearts, run along their bodies. They help, circulate blood. And also, they're pretty crucial for their feeding.
Yeah, I remember reading that they can consume massive amounts of blood.
Mm.
So do the extra hearts help them deal with all that blood, process it?
That's one theory, yeah. The extra hearts, they might help, maintain blood flow and pressure, especially when they're engorging themselves.
Engorging. Kind of gross, but also fascinating. Okay, so we've talked about creatures with 3, 4, 5, 13, heart-like structures.
Mhm.
Are there any other animals out there with multiple pumps?
There are, yeah. Polychaete worms, for example, they have multiple contractile vessels. They work kind of like hearts,
Oh.
pumping fluids throughout the body.
So it's not always about having multiple hearts. It's more about like different ways to pump fluids, right? Evolution is so creative.
It really is. And for our last multi-hearted wonder, we're going to the Antarctic to meet the icefish.
The icefish, what's so special about that?
Well, it's the only known vertebrate that has no red blood cells.
No red blood cells. How does it carry oxygen?
It's got this special protein in its blood plasma, binds to oxygen. It's much more efficient too, at absorbing oxygen from the cold Antarctic waters.
That's incredible. So instead of red blood cells, it has this unique adaptation.
Yeah, exactly. But that's not all. The icefish, it also has two hearts.
Two hearts.
One pumps blood to the gills to, pick up oxygen. The second heart, it pumps the oxygenated blood to the rest of the body.
Wow. Two hearts for a fish with no red blood cells. It seems like all these adaptations, they're all about solving that same problem, right? Getting oxygen where it needs to go. But why would a fish lose its red blood cells? Wouldn't that be a disadvantage?
Actually, in the Antarctic, in those freezing waters, losing red blood cells, it can be helpful.
Helpful.
Yeah, it makes the blood less viscous, so it can flow more easily at those low temperatures. Helps prevent them from, freezing solid.
So losing red blood cells was the key to their survival in that crazy environment.
It was a crucial adaptation, yeah. Along with that, that unique protein they have.
Huh?
And the two hearts.
Yeah.
You put it all together, it let them thrive in a place where other fish just, they couldn't.
It's amazing how evolution, finds these solutions. I'm curious, what's the advantage of having multiple hearts in the first place?
Well, we've seen, multiple hearts can be beneficial in a lot of ways. Animals like the octopus, squid, the extra hearts help, because their blood isn't as good at carrying oxygen.
Right, it's like having backup pumps to make sure their bodies and brains, get enough.
Exactly. And in other animals like the hagfish, it's about blood pressure, right? Keeping it stable in those extreme environments.
Makes sense, especially with all that pressure in the deep sea.
And creatures like the earthworm, those aortic arches, that helps get the blood flowing through their, long bodies.
So each animal, it's like they evolved a system that works for them, right? For their needs, their environment. But how did these systems even, how did they even evolve in the first place?
That's a great question. Evolutionary biologists, they think these multi-heart systems, they evolved over millions of years through natural selection.
So the animals with these adaptations, they were just more likely to survive, right? Pass on those traits.
Exactly. Those with variations, that helped them survive, they had an advantage. They reproduced, passed on their genes, and that includes, the genes from multiple hearts.
It's wild to think about, these adaptations developing over generations and generations. And now we've got this incredible adversity. It's like evolution was experimenting, trying to figure out, how to keep blood flowing.
It really is. And we're still learning so much, about all these incredible creatures and their adaptations.
Speaking of learning, what are scientists doing to uncover the secrets of these multi-hearted animals?
Oh, researchers are using all sorts of techniques, advanced imaging, genetic analysis. They want to understand, how these hearts work, how they evolved, and maybe, how they can inspire new medical technologies.
Inspire new technologies? How so?
Well, think about it. Studying these circulatory systems, so unique, it could give us insight into heart disease, blood pressure, even tissue regeneration, understanding how the cockroach heart, how tough it is. Maybe we could use that to develop artificial hearts, more resilient.
That's incredible. So these animals, they're not just fascinating. They could actually help us, make medical breakthroughs.
Yeah, it's a good reminder, that there's so much we can learn from nature.
Absolutely. Well, this deep dive, it's really opened my eyes to, all this diversity out there. The blue blood of the octopus, the icefish, and its adaptation to freezing waters. It's clear there's more than one way to pump a heart.
I couldn't agree more.
This has been an amazing journey. But before we wrap things up, I'm curious, what are some of the challenges these animals face, with these adaptations?
That's a good question. It's
Huh.
like anything, any complex system, having those multiple hearts, it can have its downsides.
Like what?
Yeah.
Is it harder to, maintain? Does it take more energy?
Yeah, for sure. More pumps, more energy, more resources. And that can be a problem, if those resources are scarce.
Right, right. It's like having a car with a bunch of engines. Might be powerful, but it's going to use a lot of gas.
Exactly. And these systems, they can be more likely to break down. One pump fails, puts a strain on the others, then you've got a whole mess of problems.
So it's like you trade off efficiency for resilience.
Yeah, you could say that. And for the octopus, the squid, they've got that low oxygen blood, right? So they got to work harder to circulate the oxygen. That limits their activity levels, especially in warmer waters where there's less oxygen.
It's like trying to run a marathon, but you can only breathe through like a straw.
Yeah, something like that. And then you've got the hagfish living in the deep sea, all that pressure. Their hearts have to be like super strong. Any weakness, and it could be really bad.
So it's a constant battle for them.
Yeah, you could say that. Even the cockroach, with that tough heart, if too many chambers get damaged, it can still, it can still be fatal.
It's a good reminder that even like the toughest creatures out there, they're still vulnerable. What about the leech? Do their multiple hearts, do those create any problems for them?
Well, they're so specialized, right? With their feeding and needing all those hearts, it makes them a little more vulnerable to like parasites and diseases, things that target those systems.
Right. So it's like with every adaptation, there's pluses and minuses.
Exactly. But, despite all that, these animals, they've been around for like millions of years, so clearly it's working for them.
It really is remarkable. I have to say, learning about all this, all these different animals, it's really incredible. All these different ways to keep blood flowing.
It's a testament to evolution, right?
Mm.
And how creative nature can be.
Well said. This deep dive, it's been a wild ride. We started with the octopus, ended up in the Antarctic with the icefish,
Yeah.
hemocyanin, aortic arches, cardiac sinuses, even a fish with no red blood cells.
It's been fun.
Yeah, the fun was all mine. And to our listener, the one who sent in these articles, thank you. Clearly, there's more than one way to pump a heart. And who knows what other crazy adaptations are still out there.